Oh yeah, this is a key issue, Elvira's very first comic book appearance. I just love this funny, scary art, don't you? Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, comic book fan. Welcome to another episode of the weekly vmcampos Comic Book Club. This is the series where I review a comic book, new or old, and rate it on various factors. Happy Halloween! I've got a Halloween comic book for you, but no, not this one, sorry Catwoman. This one, which I haven't even unboxed yet, so this is going to be a rare episode where I haven't even opened this box of a comic yet. This is the first time I ever own this comic. These are all going to be my raw, uncut reactions to this comic. So let's get to it. Wrapped inside of Honey Smacks. I haven't seen this in years. Can't get enough of that cookie. No, that's a different one. What was the song for this one? I don't even remember. Now, I was more of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch boy back in the day. That was my favorite cereal. So, yeah, Honey Snacks. If you like Honey Snacks, the sweetened puffed wheat cereal, tell me about it in the comments. Did you used to love this cereal? Here's the comic in question, Elvira's House of Mystery. First issue 64-page Halloween special. With Elvira beckoning you, come in, we're dying to meet you. This was during DC Comics' 50th anniversary, and we got this amazing Brian Boland cover. So this is what I picked up. I have never owned an issue of Elvira's House of Mystery. I wanted to pick one up to finally add it to my collection, and just in time for Halloween. So let's pop this book out and give it a quick review. Now right away, quality-wise, this isn't as nice of a quality as I thought it was. According to the eBay listing, we've got some horrible color breaks in the spine right there. The whole book just feels well read, like with a rolled spine and stuff. Oh, and here's the back. Over here, there's like some fingerprint damage over here. Dig Elvira's hairdo at that time, 1985. Yeah, this book is not in the great quality that I thought it was going to be. Look at that. You even see all of this damage onto the cover. Now the eBay seller's going to get a stern message from me because I think they were advertising this better than it was. Oh well. So let's browse the pages a bit. Got some more of this glamorous Miss Elvira photos. So we've got Joey Cavalieri, writer, artist Ron Wagner, and E. Bob Oxner, letterer Kurt Hathaway, colorist Liz Berube, and the editor Sal Amendola. So I was more of a Marvel fan, and I wasn't really reading comics in '85, although my very first comic was a Spider-Man comic from 1985. That was Amazing Spider-Man 266, which I still have. Later on, I bought 5 more mint condition copies just to have them. And so I'm not really reading the story here just yet. I'm just kind of browsing around. So there was some sort of preamble part, then the main story. So it seems to be like the other House of Mystery DC books that they would have some sort of scary stories with their own, sort of Crypt Keeper introductions. And so, yeah, you can pause it and read it on your own if you want. And then at the end, we come back with Elvira. So, again, I'm not quite reading it at the moment to see how it's all working. But I guess she's introducing these various stories. Death likes a lullaby. We have different different creative teams on each of these, actually. So that's kind of cool. A little bit of an anthology book. I don't really know at all. That's kind of sexy for a DC comic there. This is code approved, right? Yeah, Comics Code Authority right there. And it's an anthology book. It's got Elvira by 1985. She was becoming a big name to those in the know. And a couple years later, she would have her own movie, which is hilarious. I love it. You definitely have to watch Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. You got to stay to the very end. Look at that creepy kid becoming an evil skeleton. And down will come baby, cradle and all. I love that stuff. Now, she's more in purple tones than black on these various parts here. So that's interesting. And so, yeah, definitely watch her movie. It's really cool. non-problematic story here by Dennis E. Once Upon a Time. Again, maybe I'm overblowing it, but you can pause it. You can read it for yourself. Stuff is happening. I don't know how much supernatural stuff is happening over here. Maybe it's still the Kung Fu craze that we had in the late 70s, I suppose. There was, of course, that amazing Kung Fu game in the arcades and the Nintendo Entertainment System. This was 85, so it was barely... The NES was barely going to debut in the US by this time. And, yep, someone wrapped up in hellfire, I guess. Stuff is happening, sort of Big Trouble in Little China. How does that fit into the timeline? I mean, got some Minotaurs and fish guys and a Randy goat or something. And, yeah, this story is going on forever. I don't know. Did you ever read this book yourself? Do you have any thoughts about this? I'm just really zooming by it. Sorry, but it doesn't really stand out to me, that story. And you can pause it and check it for yourself. But I was mainly interested for the Elvira parts. Now, is this par for the course for this book? That it's mostly anthology series, that she sort of introduces various horror stories with O. Henry twists. Someone just got acid poured on his face, I guess. Yay, it's hot! So I guess they're someone's getting bullied as always, and then there's a massive twist, and that actually looks really funny there. And Elvira says a quip at the end. Cain, is that this decrepit old loser's name? Cain, I get it. And so, yeah, there's this sort of wraparound story with Elvira running from the townsfolk, predating the movie, spoiler alert, and everyone actually then says, we love you, Elvira, anything for a fan, Tiger, and you know something else? All the stuff about my destiny? This place is my destiny. I think me and this old house will be together a long time. And yeah, this series went on for a little while, 12 issues. Ooh, that's an amazing shirt. Can I still get that shirt? I want that shirt. Slightly off-model Elvira there. And so it was at DC for a little bit. There was a Dave Stevens cover that everyone wants. And then eventually she moved over to Claypool Comics and was there for like 140 issues. Joined the Elvira fan club. Another slightly off-model Elvira. Membership package includes autographed color, 8x10 Elvira photo, 6-page Elvira newsletter, Elvira bumper sticker, ooh, I want that, Elvira mini poster decal, and Elvira button for $6.50 plus $1 right to this address in Hollywood. There's that same photo that we see in the back. That's a rip-off right there. Give me more photos of the hostess with the mostess, please. And then, yeah, when we get to the front and back covers, I'm reminded and infuriated that these covers aren't as good as they could have been. And I'm going to complain to the eBay seller that the photo didn't display these horrible Freddy Krueger marks on the cover, and then maybe I'll be able to get a partial refund or something, and then eventually get a nicer copy. And I'll do one more quick flip through here. So what do you all think here? Pause it, read the story on your own. What do you think about the art? What do you think about the story? So it seems to be an anthology story. She introduces the stories and then has fun quips and such every issue, I suppose. The art is nice and colorful for the time. It's got these sickly green colors, these cool red magenta tones here and there. Panel layout is good. This flow of action here to here to here to here looks good. More violent than we would think. This guy's getting freaking stabbed in the back. Take that, beast! And so this is a Comics Code approved story, but or the comic itself is Comics Code Authority approved, but it's actually verging on a little bit more violent than you would think. Here's this tiger dragon torching everyone, I suppose. Everyone becomes a crispy critter, and everyone's getting stabbed and stuff. And then there was a little bit of someone in their underwear and all of that, and then of course Elvira with her very memorable outfit. That's kind of an amazing depiction of death there. I want that as a tattoo, don't you? The series didn't last too long at DC. Eventually it got moved over to Claypool Comics. It went on way longer there, and since it wasn't one of the big two publishers, I think they got a little bit more risque in that. I've got to get an issue or two of that Claypool Comics run and then do a review of it at some point. Yeah, I don't know, this is just so boring. Like, by this time, was the Kung Fu genre still anything important by 1985? That really ran its course with Shang-Chi in the Marvel in the 70s, and then I guess whatever other Kung Fu comics were at that time. But if you're gonna water it down with a code-approved comic, it's going to be watered down. If it's in magazine format, then you're going to get, you know, drug-addicted main characters having to battle the triads and such, which is actually did happen in a Marvel comic. And then we get back to the Elvira horror things, and I'm seeing the main character over here. So yeah, there's this wraparound stuff. Again, different creative teams. Jack Harris and Dan Spiegel over here. And the art is cool. It definitely feels of the time. Actually, it feels even older. This feels like 70s art styles or 70s clothing styles there. And it's mixing up at the same time 80s things, but old things. And it just kind of bounces around. And the wraparound story, I like all of those colors there. It feels more colorful than the regular comics at the time. Really cheap newsprint as was the time, but it was, what was it, 64 pages? Or how many is this? Yeah, 64 page. Now, 64 page for $1.50, that's actually a good deal. Now, I'm used to comics nowadays that are super expensive, so maybe some of you old-timers, $1.50 was very expensive, and only 64 pages. I remember getting 100-page spectaculars for 75 cents. I don't know, tell me in the comments if you're more of an old-timer. But when I started comics, they were 75 cents each. I was shocked when they went to $1 each, and then we know how they are nowadays. Marvel is the guiltiest, making $10 comics nowadays. But this classic 80s book in the middle of the 80s, Elvira, everyone eventually got a comic book. This is Elvira's comic book here. So they alternate between her very pale skin tones and then actual skin tones here and there. And then they alternate between blue for black and purple for black. So that's interesting too. Turn on your friends and yourself. With the hottest hostess of Macabre, keep Elvira close to your heart with this full-color t-shirt and enjoy a howling good time. So how much does this t-shirt cost back in 1985? $9. I love it. I'll take 2. Although it sort of seems to have like the feminine cut to it instead of just completely straight. So that's interesting. And then at the very end, oh yeah, I glossed over this a moment ago. So some sort of like, this is obviously something incredibly juvenile for the little kids, which doesn't fit with like the rest of the book, so I don't get that. Don't recognize this signature here, Mas Pale or something. And what do we have? A witch summoning stuff, and instead of demons we get Superman and Batman and I guess Wheeze. I don't know what's going on this. Please explain it to me in the comments. And then it ends with more ads, another Elvira, and then the same photo there again. And then we end the book. So happy Halloween from the weekly vmcampos comic book club. This is the comic I'm reading this week, Elvira's House of Mystery #1, published by DC Comics in 1985. It was just an off-the-top-of-my-head type of review. Didn't do the usual ratings that I often do. I have to reread it in more detail to give you some cogent thoughts. But now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments. Did you like the art? Did you like the plot? What about the cover? Great Brian Boland art, right? I wish also we got some interiors. But I guess he was over in Justice League or something at that time. What's your favorite Brian Boland cover? What's your favorite horror comic? Do you also want Elvira to capture your heart and never let it go? Have you ever gotten some books on eBay that didn't quite turn out as you wanted? Tell me about that in the comments. And so this has been vmcampos, and I'll see you in the next video.